Setting objectives. Objectives are more specific than aims. They break up the items into smaller elements of learning so that the outcomes are better understood. They are written in more precise terms as compared to the aims. All the stakeholders involved in the learning process are also involved in writing the objectives. For example, the sponsors of a course, the HODs of a department, or even at times the students are also involved in the writing of the objectives. They may even assist the course designer to write the objectives, and they also would want to have a look at it. There are various ways of writing objectives. They can be written in general terms, or they could be more specific. For example, general objectives are written at the performance level are the student will be able to catalog books written in English, and if written in specific terms at the competence level, the student will be able to extract the gist of a text by skimming through it, extract relevant information from the main parts of a book. So there are various ways in which objectives can be written. There are various categorization or classifications. For example, objectives can be written according to the level of the learners. For example, they can be written for high and low level learners according to their abilities and according to their current proficiency. Then they can be written for individual, closed, or open groups. Writing objectives for the individuals is most easy, and it is a opportunity for the learner to use a tailor-made or a customized sort of a course. According to the needs of the individual, the teacher or the trainer can go according to his pace and his contents and his time frame. The closed group is a group which is composed of people who belong to the same professional area, the same department or the same area. So making objectives for them is quite easy because they all have the same interests and they all have the same needs. But writing for open groups, which are sometimes called public groups, is difficult because the audience or the participants might come from a wide variety of places, of professions and areas, and even geographical areas. So writing objectives for open groups is quite difficult. The job of the designer is that he or she should try to reach a consensus with all the participants so that everybody is satisfied with the objectives. Then objectives can be written according to the different areas or professions, you can say. So objectives could be for managers or for objectives for accountants. Then they could be written according to the business and communication skills which are needed by a certain group. So for a business group, it could be titled Business Communication in English for an open group course, or it could be titled Effective Professional Communication for Managers for a closed group course. Objectives for individuals and groups. For disparate groups, it is important that all the objectives of the disparate group are taken into account and a consensus is reached and agreed, so that everybody can participate in the process wholeheartedly. It is important to explain the different objectives which the learners have to each other, and then try to negotiate so that all the participants are satisfied. Business English courses can be made according to the level of the learners. For example, high-level groups would have their objectives written differently than the low-level learners. So here we have an example of objectives written for individual courses for low-level learners and objectives for individual courses for high-level learners. Similarly, objectives can be made for various skills. For example, they can be made for meeting skills, for teaching negotiation skills, for writing skills, for telephoning, and for presentation skills. You can see here that these are the objectives which have been made for a presentation skills in English for a closed group course. And these objectives are for a business communication in English for a open group course. So one thing which course designers have to remember that objectives are not written in stone to be followed slavishly. They have to be renegotiated at different times during the course. Teachers need to be reflective practitioners in order to be aware of what are the needs of the learners as the course progresses. And the objectives need to be negotiated in the beginning and during the course, during significant moments in the course. And then regular feedback sessions allow the learners to communicate with the teacher about their growing awareness about their needs, especially in longer courses which are longer than 4 days. The students will become aware of their strengths and weaknesses, and hence their needs would be changed. So it is important that the course objectives are negotiated throughout the progress of the course.